Listen, I'm majorly out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain Ethiopian food because I know very little. But stick around for this adventure as we figure it out together. I did try to record this in the restaurant, but it was busy, people talking, there was music going on in the background, so I decided to do takeout. The reason why I want to do it in the restaurant is because I've seen pictures of Ethiopian food, and the platters look so delicious, so colorful. The food is laid out on injera, which is the bread. I believe that's like a spongy bread, and then the food is laid out on top, and it looks so delicious. So I really wanted that experience, but I still got the food. So here's the takeout. Let's see what it looks like and give this a try. There's a container. Gave me a napkin. Gave me a wet wipe. And everything seems to be in this big container. So before I open up that big container, let's open up the smaller container. See what's inside. What is this? Oh, it's a salad. Looks like a pretty standard salad. With some kind of vinaigrette dressing, I believe it is. It's got red cabbage, tomatoes, green lettuce. Smells good. Set that aside for a second. And this is the one I'm interested in. So again, all the pictures I've seen of Ethiopian food, big platter, the bread, the injera laid out, and then all the meats and vegetables laid out on top. Looked very beautiful. How does the takeout look? Oh. Okay. That is not what I was expecting. Well, I'm shocked. I didn't know what to expect, but this is not what I expected. So this is the injera, and I guess, I see what they did. Okay, so there's 4 rolls of the injera, and then underneath it, it looks like what you would get on the platter. They placed it into the box of this and just kind of wrapped the injera over top of it. So the food, injera and the food is at the bottom, and this is kind of like extra injera for dipping and eating, I guess. So let me get another plate and I can move this injera off it. Oh yeah, you can see immediately, this is what I was talking about. So you can now see how there's that injera and the meat. So if we open up this injera, I'm presuming that we're going to see all the food. So we've got meats and vegetables. So this is a meat and vegetable platter. The meat is beef, 2 kinds of beef, and then there's vegetables. There's chickpeas and some, looks like there's some beets. And so I pulled up the menu on their website so I know exactly what's included here. So there's kitfo, there's tibs, there's split peas, there's lentils, there's cabbage, and there's salad. And it says arranged on a platter served with injera. So obviously takeout, there's no platter, but it's the injera. So the other thing I know about Ethiopian food is you don't eat it with a fork. There's no fork or spoon or knife. That's why they didn't give me any. You eat it only with the injera. You take a bit of the injera and you dip it into the meat, or you scoop it up and you eat it. So that's what I'm going to do. The idea of it sounds pretty messy to me, and I'm sure I'm going to make a mess of it because I'm an amateur when it comes to eating Ethiopian food. Get out of your comfort zone, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I've got the injera here. So the injera, you can see, very spongy. I want to try it by itself, see how it tastes. There is a flavor, almost like a whole wheat bread. I think that would be the closest comparison, because there's a bit of a flavor. If you ever had brown bread, not brown rice, but like a whole wheat, that's what it tastes like. So let's dig in. So I don't know what's what. So I guess you just tear off a piece and maybe place it on top and then scoop it. That's a big bite. Very nice flavor. The beef, it's like beef cubes. Chewy, not like super tender, not stewed, I don't think, for a very long time. A little bit of spice at the end, which is very nice. If you've seen any of my other videos, one of the things I always look for with food is, well, it's kind of a silly comment, but flavor. You know, I really like to get hit with a big hit of flavor. And that's got some nice flavor to it. The other thing I like to look for is some spice, because I like spicy foods. So that was good. That was delicious, actually. I gotta admit, eating with the injera, excuse me, it's a bit awkward, but you know, as a new person to eating Ethiopian food, that's probably natural. I'm just used to using a fork. Let's try this yellow, kind of like potato, it feels like. So you can see, just you scoop it up. Again, very delicious, but I don't recognize the flavor. I don't know what that is. That could have been chickpeas. Let's try the one beside it. I wonder if this is, I don't know, if anybody has had Ethiopian food before, when you take a bite, is that a big piece to use, or is that about the right size? Because I would think if you're sharing this, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is a platter for two. This is a sharing platter for two. So if you're sharing with someone, no one wants, you're not using your fingers. You gotta keep your fingers clean. So you gotta use this injera to eat. So you need a big enough piece so you don't get your fingers in there. Your fingers getting all dirty all the time. So, am I eating this correctly? I'm laying it on top, and then I'm basically scooping it around, and you get it's a big bite. That must have been carrot. Oh, it's got some heat. Feel that in my throat. That's very nice. I don't know why, maybe because the look of it. When I saw Ethiopian food, I always in my mind thought it looked like Indian food. Curries. There's a lot of vegetarian dishes within Indian cuisine. But the flavors are not Indian flavors at all. Not for me, at least. Let's try this green, which is definitely split peas. So lay it on top. Scoop. Again, very delicious. What I'm starting to notice and appreciate is that all these different flavors. It's not, oh, this tastes like this and this tastes like that and it tastes like, they don't all taste the same. They have some similarities. I'm sure there's some similar spices used in each, but the split peas definitely taste different than obviously the carrots. I'm glad they gave a lot of this injera because, yeah, see, I had this piece. Like you can't, I mean, kind of grab a little piece. So that's the cabbage and carrot. Very nice. It's actually bones. That's actually interesting that there's bones. Because if I scoop this and I put it in my mouth, I would bite a bone. I'm very surprised that they would leave bones in it. Take that out. Part of Ethiopian food, a good Ethiopian food, must be the injera as well, because you're using injera in everything you eat. So if you don't have good tasting injera, then it's just going to ruin all the other flavors. But this tastes good. It's nice. Let's go for something else here. What is this? Because the container is so small, it looks like they had to pack food on top of food. So underneath these split peas, there's something else there. Not sure what it is right now, though. I gotta say, this is very delicious. Let's try some beets. It's interesting about beets as well, because you never know, are they going to be pickled or are they just going to be cooked beets? These are not pickled beets, which is good, because I prefer just the cooked beets. Just had this thought, how do I eat the salad without a fork? Am I supposed to eat the salad with injera? I think I might get a fork for the salad. Let's try this meat in the middle that had the bone. I like that meat better than this other meat. So the two meats, one is called kitfo and the other one is called tibs. So tibs are cubes of tender beef sauteed with spiced nitra butter, not sure what that is, chopped onions and peppers served with injera. The other meat, which is the kitfo, is finely chopped lean beef mixed with special spiced nitra butter and chili powder, served rare or well done with injera. So I believe what I just ate was the kitfo. That was delicious. So nitra butter or nitra butter, I've never heard of that before. Again, I love it because going from each item to each item, flavor changes. You know, when you eat something, you know, like a large portion of something, and your mouth, your tongue just gets used to that flavor and it stops. You just stop noticing it. The fact that there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7, maybe 8 different flavors here on the platter. You can go from one to another, and your mouth gets reawakened with new flavors. And then when you go back to that original one, it's like reawakened again. Ah, it's amazing, actually. Ethiopian food. 2 thumbs up. So I just ate one of these injera. I've got 3 more, and I've got a lot of food left. So I don't know if I'm being, well, I guess you'll have all this injera that the food is on as well, which I can eat. I wish I had someone from Ethiopia beside me to tell me if I'm doing it right. So if you ever wondered about Ethiopian food, wondering if you should try it, definitely try it. If you're worried about spice level, because I know people who sometimes eat Indian cuisine are worried about spice level, too hot for them. This is nothing like that. There's mild spice, but it's not like hot. So don't be concerned about the spice level, but give this a try. I mean, it's definitely an interesting eating experience with the injera. I'm sure if you go to a restaurant and ask for a fork, I'm sure they won't mind. It's funny, every time I go to a Chinese restaurant, they give me a fork because they don't think I can use chopsticks. Which I can, not well, but I can use them. So I never take the fork. There's nothing bad about using a fork. I'm actually wondering, I know in some cultures, you're supposed to eat with either your left hand or your right hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm eating with my left hand. I wonder if Ethiopia is another culture or food item you're supposed to eat with. I think you're only supposed to eat with one hand, but it doesn't matter if it's your left hand or right hand. So many options. Gets you so excited. I can try some more beef. Very delicious. I'm so glad I went with this. I'll try the salad. Looks like a pretty straightforward salad. The dressing is very nice, very light. That's a good salad. I wasn't sure how close this would be to Indian food, but it's very, very different. And speaking of Indian food, if you like Indian food, check out this video of me trying some unusual Indian drinks. See you on the next one.